the numerator and the denominator with the same number c, right? So that's allowed, and you still get the same fraction. Okay. The second property is that if I have a divided by b, that's the same as a divided by c over b divided by c. Okay, so b divided by c. Yep. Say it again. Say it again.
B what?
Oh, this symbol here?
Yes.
A divided by C.
Divided. Can you put in the
Oh, the spelling. Okay, yeah, it's D-I-V-I-D-D. Yep. So A divided by C over B divided by C, and here, of course, we have to assume the same thing. B cannot be 0 and C cannot be 0. Okay, the same thing we have to assume. Another way of writing this is that it's A over C divided by B over C. Okay, so that's another way of writing the same information. So if I have a fraction, if I divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number, I still get the same fraction. Okay, they are still equal fractions. So let's look at a few examples of this. Example. So let's say the example is write the number 10 divided by 12 as an equivalent fraction with denominator denominator 6. So all this is saying is write this fraction as an equivalent fraction where the denominator is 6. So that's pretty easy. 10 over 12. I want 6 in the denominator. How do I get 6 in the denominator? If I divide the denominator by 2. So I divide 10 by 2. I divide 12 by 2. And I get 5 over 6. So that's all I have to do. That the 10 over 12 is the same as 5/6. Example. So always keep in mind that any number A divided by 1, that's the same as A. Okay. And of course the A divided by A, that's the same as 1. Okay, another example that you might see in your exercises. Let's say the question is write the fractions. Write the fractions in order from smallest to largest. So suppose the fractions are 5/8, 5/6, 3/4, and 2/3. So basically the question is, if I have fractions, how do I compare them? Which fraction is bigger than which one, right? And if I want to compare fractions, the only way I can do it is when they have the same denominator. Okay, so what we are going to do is make the denominator of each fraction the same number. Okay, so here the numbers are what? 3, 4, 6, and 8. So I want a common denominator. Okay, so how do I pick a common denominator? I have the number 3. That's the same as just 3. I have the number 4. That's the same as 2 squared, right? I have the number 6. That's the same as 2 times 3. I have the number 8. That's the same as 2 cubed, right? So the common denominator that I can pick, the common denominator common denominator is that I look at the same prime factor. Have you guys heard about the prime numbers? Okay, here 2, 3 are the prime numbers, right? Now here the factor 2 occurred in in 3 of the 4 numbers. The highest power of 2 is 2 to the 3, right? So I'm going to pick 2 to the 3 only. And then 3 occurred there, so I'm also going to pick 3. Okay? The highest power of 3 I see is just 3. So what is that? It's 8 times 3, which is? Yep. So the common denominator that I can pick is 24. So here's what I'm going to do. I have 5, 8. I am going to make the denominator 24. So how can I do that? Well, multiply numerator and the denominator by 3. So if I multiply 5 times 3 over 8 times 3, I get 15 divided by 24. Okay, the same way I can look at 5/6. I can multiply 5/6 by what? 4. So what do I get? 20 over 24. Same way 3/4. I can multiply by 6. So I get 18 over 24. And the last one is 2/3. I have to multiply by 8. So I get 16 over 24. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so which one is the smallest here? Which one is the smallest?
16.
I have 15 over 24 right here. So that's 5/8. And then the next larger one is 2/3. And the next one is 3/4. So I have so I want to put them in order from smallest to largest. So the smallest one is 5/8. And then I get the 2/3. Then I have the 3/4. And the largest one in this case is 5/6. Okay? So that's my answer here. This is my final answer. Okay, that finishes section 2.1. Okay, I'm going to start with a definition now. Here, let M, N, and K be positive integers. By positive integers, I mean these are the whole numbers, okay? Positive integers, I mean these are the whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So we write, whoops. Okay, so we are going to say the following, that n okay, we're going to say that n is, okay, this is okay, n is divisible. We're going to use the word divisible by m and write m, it's a vertical slash n, if n is equal to m times k for some k. So basically n, all we are saying is that if I divide n by m, if the remainder is 0, then we say that n is divisible by m. So in other words, I can write, if I divide n by m and the remainder is 0, I can write n as the divisor multiplied with the quotient, right? So that means that n is a multiple of k, a multiple of m. Okay? Everyone is clear on what I'm trying to write here? Okay? And here we say that m is a factor, or m is a divisor of n. And this m is a factor or divisor of n. Now, what are prime numbers? Prime numbers. Prime numbers. Prime. Prime numbers are what? Anyone knows? Well, these are the numbers which are divisible only by themselves or the number 1. Any number that is divisible only by 1 or itself, that's a prime number, okay? So has, let me erase this. So let me just say it this way, any number, divisible by, let me add the word only, okay? Divisible only by itself or 1 is a prime. So the examples of prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, what else? 11, 13, 17, and so on, okay?